Hey guys, welcome to the gig economy. Millions of Americans out there have created their own business with different side hustles and side gigs. Some of these gigs can be a pain in the butt, but a lot of them can be very lucrative. I'm here with my good friend Emily in Fullerton, California. We're going to be talking about what it's like to start a Turo business. They did things a little different because they started with a van. So how much money can you make on Turo? What are the pitfalls? What are the profits like? Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Emily and I'm an all-star Turo host. And this is our van, and we've been doing this since October of last year, and I live in Buena Park.
Emily, so how did you guys get started?
Well, I believe it was when my husband took a trip to Arizona. He wanted us to have like a little family vacation. And so I think it popped up on Instagram about Turo. We decided, oh, let's try it. So we rented a vehicle from a privately owned person, and that pretty much sparked our interest in it.
All right, Emily, show us the vehicle.
All right, this is our 2015 Ford Transit. It is a pre-owned vehicle. We decided to go with a used vehicle rather than a new just because of our finances. So we decided, you know, it's best to just not go straight out with a brand new one. Let's see how it works. So this is our 12-passenger van. According to the policy on Turo, you're only allotted 8 seats plus the driver, so it's 9. So we have the option to take seats out, and if for any reason you wanted 3 seats here and 3 seats here, there's enough space to move the seats around as well. It's very spacious. We take very good pride in our vehicle. We make sure it stays nice and clean for our guests, and there's tons of space in the back for luggage and for whatever else you need or you want to bring on your trip. And again, we always check the tires. We do a safety check of the vehicle. We look all around for anything dents, new, so that way whoever is booking the reservation, they know, okay, this was a dent already, kind of like how Enterprise and the other rental companies do it. We do the same thing for our personal reason as well, and we just make sure that everything is good to go before it goes out on its reservation.
Let's talk a little bit more about stats. How much did you pay for this vehicle?
We paid $25,000 to $30,000.
$25,000 to $30,000?
I think so, yeah.
That's pretty good, and if it's generating $1,000 easy.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh shit, I don't know what I'm doing. I mean, the return on your money is amazing if you're doing that.
Oh yeah, and again, it's peak season right now. She's been going out a lot, and even when it is kind of a slow season, you know, we do offer drop-offs for anyone who needs to go to any airport that's within Orange County. We offer that service off of Turo.
Oh, almost like an Uber. Like,
yeah, especially for families who are leaving or going here, or like church groups or anybody who has just a big group and they all want to go together. We do offer that to them to be able to, you know, drop them off at the airport if they need it.
So a side hustle within a side hustle.
Yes.
Wow, that's pretty good. I like that a lot. Okay, so we're here in Fullerton or Orange County. Is this a good place to start a Turo business?
For us, it is because of where we're located. It's centrally located to major theme parks such as Disneyland, Knott's Berry, and it doesn't take that long of a drive. We're like maybe 15, 20 minutes away. So people that are coming to California, those are the main areas that, you know, they want to go to. Being, I would say, here in Fullerton is a good place because we're centrally located, and it's pretty much not that far of a drive from anywhere or any activity you want to do in Orange County.
So let's talk money here. How much does this rent out for?
I would say, again, it depends on how long you're going to rent it out for.
Okay.
But I would say if you're going to rent it out for like a day or two, between like $120, $140.
$120 to $140 for this.
Yeah, probably for like a day if you wanted to. Again, it just depends on how long. But I would say on average it's between about $120, $140.
Let's say we're in the busy season right now and we're in July of 2023.
Yes.
What percentage of the month are you booked? Is it like a quarter or half?
Well, right now it's actually peak season for our van. So she's been going out constantly. I would say she's probably stayed stationary for maybe a day.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, she's been booked quite a bit.
So let's say even at 90% occupant?
I would say 90%.
So that's
even
about
higher, probably.
Even higher. So let's say on the low end, 25 days for the peak season.
Yes, I would
Times,
say that.
it's still $120, or do you guys ramp it up more on the peak season?
I believe it's still around the same. It just depends, and it also depends on the day too, because I think we charge a little bit more if it's on the weekend, or during the day it kind of goes back down a little bit, so it just depends.
So easily probably $3,000 in July.
Yeah, I would say a high end of like 3,000.
So what does the slow season look like?
Well, the slow season is usually, I would say around when school starts again, because families are going back home because their children are starting school, or everyone's getting back to, you know, their routine. So it doesn't go out as much.
How many days a month do you think? Like,
I would say during a slow season, rough estimate, maybe like 15 to 20 days it might be
15
out.
days still? Wow.
It might. It just depends if, you know, it just depends on family, if they still want to go out and hang out. But I would say on a slow season, maybe the least would be 15 days.
That's impressive, because I own a beach home, and the slow season, 0 days out of the month. And so you're coming out of pocket. So let's say even on the slow months, if it rents out for 10 days, you're still generating about $1,000 at least.
Yeah.
I guess, are you profiting every single month on this?
Yes, we are.
Wow. So you're gonna get more vehicles?
I foresee it in the future.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
Probably
Okay.
another van.
Okay. So you decided to go with the van versus the economy cars.
Yes.
Do you find that there's more profit that way? Is that why you guys went that way?
In a way, yes. There's not a lot of vans such as this in Orange County that are, I guess, within a 20-mile radius. There might be a few, but you might have to travel pretty far in order to pick it up. My husband and I, we just noticed that there might have been a better need for this.
Okay.
For one, a little bit closer to, again, the theme parks and stuff like that. So that's why we kind of chose the van.
Okay. So what does the maintenance on something look like, having this?
So, for example, let's say it's going out today at around noon or 1 o'clock. If it's still here and it's stationary and we have it, the first thing we do is we take it and we go get it cleaned. We clean the inside, and then we take it for a wash. Then we bring it back to our home and we just make sure all the fluids are topped off, the tires look good, everything is pretty much the way it's supposed to be.
So one of the concerns that a lot of people have with starting like a car rental business is the insurance. Can you speak a little bit about on that?
Sure. We have two insurances on the vehicle. We have our own personal insurance, and then the Turo platform also offers insurance. So it's kind of like double insurance.
Are you worried if someone jacks up the car and gets into an accident? Will your insurance go up?
We're not too worried about that in a way.
Knock on wood.
Yeah, knock on wood. But if something does happen, you know, our insurance has coverage, and then the Turo app will also help us with anything that we need.
The business seems very profitable. I hear people making good money on it. What are some of the downsides that people don't see?
Some of the downsides that people don't see when putting your own privately owned vehicle on this app is you have to remember that not everyone is going to treat it as if it's their car. You might get it back and it's completely trashed on the inside. There might be rips and tears. There might be dents on the outside. There might be stains. So I think that would be one of the major downfalls, is that if it's your personal vehicle or a privately owned vehicle, if you take too much pride in it or you treat it like it's your baby, I would not put it on Turo. So
that leads me into another question that I have, because I do Airbnb. I love the profits from it, but not everyone should be doing Airbnb. So who should not be doing Turo?
If you have an extra vehicle at your home, but you treat all your vehicles like they're your babies, I would not suggest putting it on Turo, because you're going to be heartbroken if something happens to your baby. And then also, if you are not in a financial position to either obtain another vehicle, I wouldn't try to go and put yourself in any financial hardship trying to get a vehicle so you can put it on.
What does the process look like? Let's say I am traveling from Germany and I'm coming here to Disneyland. Give us the day in the life, I guess. Someone books it. Do you pick him up at the airport? What does the whole process look like?
What we do is someone books it through the app. We get a notification letting them know. If they would like it to be dropped off, if it's within our limits, we can drop it off at the airport for them and they can pick it up there. Or if they're staying at someone's house and they say, hey, can you bring the vehicle to this house, or we can go pick it up where you guys are at, then again, that falls into us being in communication with them through the app. We usually send out a message to the person right after they book and say, hey, thanks for booking with us. You know, we just wanted to make sure we're in communication with you. And if they say, hey, you know, can I come and pick it up at a specific location, or can you guys come to the airport, pick us up, and you know, so on and so forth. And we're able to communicate with them on trying to help them as best as they can to make it easier for the transition of the vehicle.
Can it work out where you never meet the guests?
According to Turo policy, you have to meet them in order to obviously see who it is, make sure it's that person, because Turo requires that you take a picture of their driver's license. The person who is going to be renting the vehicle, they need to provide you with a license, and you need to physically be there and make sure that you collect their license, take a picture, upload it to the Turo app so Turo knows, okay, this is the person who booked and this is their license, and it was according to the reservation.
So I know me, I'm cheap as hell and I fly red eyes all the time. Are you meeting people like at wee hours of the dawn, or do you have business hours where you draw the line and say, we're not meeting at 2 in the morning, dude?
Well, it's kind of tough to say. We haven't run into any of those issues where someone's like, hey, can you drop off the vehicle at 2 o'clock in the morning? I think the earliest that someone has booked to pick up the vehicle was probably around 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, so not too
Oh, that's not
early.
too bad. Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too bad.
What about drop off then? Will they drop off like 11 o'clock at night? Like I said, I take cheap ass flights and it's like 11 o'clock at night. So
Yeah, you can.
they drop off at your home, or do you pick up like at a
Well, we
regular-
usually pick up in a general location.
Never at home? Have to?
No, we try
Okay.
not to do it at our personal residence. We try to do it in an area that's close to us, so that
Okay.
way we don't have to go too far. And if their reservation says, hey, we're coming back at 11 o'clock at night, then we know, okay, well, 11 o'clock at night, we'll meet up with them and pick up the vehicle from them at this location. Or we can coordinate where we want to pick it up.
So other than people renting this car that are coming to the area, what other guests are you getting to rent this from?
Well, we recently rented it out to a group who's going to Canada.
Canada.
So she
Thousands
has
miles away.
She has been to Canada.
Okay.
She was in Canada for 2 weeks, and she just got back maybe like a week ago.
Okay.
Or less than a week ago. We get people obviously taking it to Canada. We've had a
Weren't you
family
guys
friend-
worried? That I would be kind of freaked out.
We
like-
were a little worried, but you know what? We had faith. We knew everything was going to be okay because, again, we did our maintenance on it.
Okay.
We knew that it wasn't. We double checked actually
Yeah,
the
yeah.
maintenance on it for a long trip like that. We actually changed the oil. We checked the tires once again. We had a mechanic come and check the tires. We changed the oil. We made sure all the fluids and everything was good, especially for a long trip like that. We want to make sure it's good to go. So she's been to Canada. She's been to Disney. We've had a church group take it to a conference.
Okay.
She's pretty much been up the coast, and now she's been in Canada.
Right. I'd be so freaked out, like, oh my God, the car's not working. Come pick it up in Canada.
Oh yeah, that was actually something I was mostly worried about, getting like a message saying, oh my God, something went wrong in Canada. How are we going to help them? Like, as long as you stay in communication with the people that are reserving it and they're able to stay in communication with you, everything goes smooth.
All right, so what are some of the horror stories with Turo?
We have heard vehicles being stolen.
Okay.
They don't return. The interior is trashed, windows broken, the upholstery is ripped.
What about, are you tracking these vehicles with GPS or anything?
If I'm not mistaken, we are currently not, but you can if you would like to, just to see and make sure your vehicle does come back. A lot of other guests that we've heard stories of through like Facebook, they have like a little Facebook page where they share their own personal stories, and so we go on there and we read them as well. And some of them, they say, hey, I got my vehicle stolen, and so from now on I've been putting trackers in my vehicle just because I'm afraid it's going to get stolen again. So you can put a GPS tracker if you would like to.
There's tons of cars out there on the road, and our Airbnbs, we have to stand out. Do you guys do anything to stand out?
Yes, we do. We take pride in customer service and being in touch with the person who does the reservation.
Okay.
And I think one of the things that makes us stand out is after every single trip, we literally take the vehicle and we go and get it cleaned right before every trip. We check everything right before. Not a lot of Turo hosts do that.
Oh.
Usually sometimes they'll come and they might take a little bit of trash out and then it just goes out the next day. But if it comes in Friday morning and it goes back out that Friday night, we're on it. We're cleaning the inside, we're vacuuming, we're making sure we have air fresheners so it smells nice. We check all the fluids, we check the tires, we take it to the car wash and make sure it's nice. We polish the tires, we make it a little bit more so it feels like more of your own personal vehicle. How you would take pride in your personal vehicle, we do the same thing with ours.
What's one piece of advice you would give to someone who's looking to start their own Turo business?
If you are looking to start your own Turo business, the first thing that I would suggest to do is to see how much time you have. If you have a full-time job, you need to make sure that you have the allotted time in order to take care of the vehicle and in order to be able to deliver it and to make sure that the person gets the reservation.
What is one thing that you guys had to learn the hard way?
I think it was that,
Okay.
time management, because if I'm at an appointment and my husband is working and the vehicle's gonna go out in like 3 hours.
Oh no.
So we would have to kind of like scramble to try and figure out like, okay, you know what, I'm gonna be done this time, you know what, I think I'm gonna have time to do everything and go and kind of do something like that. So I think that was probably the hardest thing that we've had to face, is just trying to figure out the time, especially if both of us have busy schedules, like if my daughter has school,
Right.
or if I have tons of appointments and he's at work,
Right.
and my mother-in-law isn't available to, watch my daughters. I think that is the hardest.
How can people get a hold of you?
People can get a hold of us through our Instagram.
Okay.
Our handle is AG_rentals with 2 S's.
Okay.
So if anyone has any questions about our van or other vans or how our process has been since October of last year, you're more than welcome to message us through
Okay.
the handle.
Cool. Thanks.